Hello, this is Shakhar Pelled, freelance translator since 1985, sharing with you some insights on the industry, the art, and the profession. And today I'd like to speak some more on the mindset of the TM. And the mindset of the TM becomes an obstacle to quality because it's an engineering mindset. And we are not getting yet into fuzzy matches, machine translation, just a regular translator working with a CAT tool that remembers some of the things that he or she translated in the past, and that in itself creates a certain mindset that is not conducive to quality. I'm quoting from Avi Kallenbach's excellent video called Avoiding Literalisms in Translation. You can see it on the screen here. I'll mark the address, and you can just Google the words here and get to it. No problem. But there's also the link here. Pretty, it's a pretty engineering type link. So anyway, so what we said is that basically a translator attempts to forget the target text. He or she reads the target text and attempts to assimilate the content, the meaning, and then create something new in the source text, create something new in the target text. Now what happens is that the main thing about translation is the context of it. You have to understand where the author is coming from, what he's trying to say in the wider context of what his aim is, and then reconstruct that purpose in the target text. Avi Kallenbach says the following in minute 10:40. You can listen to it on YouTube. Everything is a matter of context, and this is one of the superiorities of human translation over machine translation. I know what we are talking about here. For example, and he's giving an example there, it's very interesting, that in the original, the author used the word wrote, but what he meant was other things. And I'm reading from what Avi spoke about. I know what we are talking about here. I know he's discussing laws, etc. So is the point here that he wrote, that he took a pen and put it to paper? Did he actually write? Or does it mean, he says we can replace this verb with something that captures the idea? He's explaining, describing, etc. It's not just that word, wrote in Hebrew, so you just put wrote in English. But you have to capture the idea of the context. And he says, don't think of words as units with one specific definition or even 5 specific definitions. Think of them as a constellation of ideas, and you, the translator, has to dive in there and figure how things connect and where the context is. So just take this idea that Avi speaks about and try to place it in a CAT context. It just doesn't, because the CAT just splits ideas, and you have to spew the parallels. You become a lexicon, you become a dictionary, rather than a living translator capable of assimilating context and creating context. Now they call it transcreation, because they began to realize that it's a problem. So now instead of calling it translation, they call it transcreation. It's the new thing. We'll talk about that in another video. But the main point is that there is something about CAT tools that is not conducive to quality translation. So where does the CAT tool fit in? More about that in my next clip.